everybody and welcome back. My name's Iris Smith and I'm the owner of a small business in Mansfield called The Flower Patch. I hope you're all well and thank you for your lovely comments and your lovely pictures. There was wonderful, really sweet pictures and the colours of them was fabulous. And Sandra, keep it up, my darling. You are doing a fantastic job. And if it was up to me as well, I'd be going to have a lot of meetings as well and a few biscuits. Well, I say a few, I'll probably eat a whole packet and cups of coffee as well around friends who are doing the same thing. It's a wonderful idea. So keep it up, my darling, and have a fab job. You're doing wonderful. Right, before I start, again, let me move my chair. I always forget to move my chair. It's in the way. Right, today I've decided to do the tea light holder. Where I've got some tea lights, I've got lots of tea lights. I used to go mad on them at one stage, and they're all inside, you know, well, I won't say arrangement. It's like a pot, an ornamental pot, and they're all in there. So what I've already done, I've cut a piece of Oasis just to the length of the bottom until it reaches the top of here. Oh, that comes off, by the way. It does come off. So I should have took that off to show you. But that's how I've done it. I've put tie wraps around it. I've made sure that where your tie wraps connect, that they're not on the bottom. Because if it were, then it'd start to wobble. So when you put in attaching something onto and it's with the tie wraps, don't put those bits on the bottom because it won't balance correctly. Try and make sure you can get them at the sides. So I've had to put 2 tie wraps together because I haven't got any longer. So I've got 4 tie wraps on here, just crossing over in the centre, and it's flat at the bottom so it will balance. So I've got some, we're going to start with the foliage and everything that I have. I just put that back on there. I'm going to use some oddments as well as some fresh. I want to try and use my oddments and get them down a bit. So I'm going to use some variegated ficus. I always seem to use this because it does look lovely in everything, especially with it being, white on the tips. And I've just placed 2 orders this morning, so they should be coming in 10 days. I've just got a couple of stems out of the, what is it? Oh gosh, I know it's eucalyptus, I keep forgetting which one it is. I'll come back to that. Silver dollar. Silver dollar. I knew I'd get it. So I've just cut a bit of that off. It's my favourite, so how can I forget that? So I've got that as well. I've got some oddments, even though I've got fresh stems. I don't want to use those because it's only a small container and I don't need a lot. So I've got some conifer and I thought that might be nice to add around the bottom. I've also got out some leatherleaf fern, some of my oddments as well, where I put a band around to keep them all together. So we're going to use some leatherleaf fern as well. With it having like a limey green in, I thought it would go nice against the container with it being like an orangey gold. So that, let me just check. Oh, and also foliage. I've got out my fern. I thought gold, let's add a bit of gold again into it. I love the gold, and I thought that would also contrast. If I bring this here, you may see. Also against the nice tea light. And then I've also decided to get some of these out as well. I'm not sure what they're called, but they've got a slight bit of glitter on them. You may be able to see it sparkling away with the light shining on it. And yeah, I think that it's just like a brownie colour, but I think it'll go lovely against it. I got out our wild poppies. So I thought that these are just some of my oddments as well, that again, they look lovely with the colour, and I thought they might, you know, go really, really nice as well. Now, I did get one of these delphiniums out. It is very long, it's 90 centimetres, the stem, and I thought I could either just take some off at the bottom or cut some off and then just attach those, maybe as depth, into the oasis. I've also got some of the berries. I thought the berries would look nice as well, and so I've taken a few berries out as well. I may not use everything, it may not all go, but you know, usually I can tell whether it's going to, you know, go together lovely. Now, with us having gold, I thought I'd get some yellow just to brighten it up a bit. Now, these come like that. Let me just measure the stem. 2 inch again, another 2 inch, everything's 2 inch. You can buy these. I got these, I think, off of Shein. And a pack, you can choose how many you want in a pack. I chose to get 144 in a pack. They're very good for when you're doing funerals, especially if you're doing like the tribute where the names or a love art or anything, like I've shown you on another video. And they're very good for that. It saves you wasting any stem, and they come like that with spikes on. If I can show you, like that, to dig into your oasis. And if you don't like the length of the stem, you can always, you want it longer, you can always get a wire pick and attach that to it instead. So I've only got 4 of those. I've also decided to get a bit of globe fern out. I thought if we use this, it'll, you know, a bit of white, it's going to lighten it up slightly. I decided, I'm not sure again if I'm going to use these, but I've got our little yellow pansy bush, and I thought, well, they could be also nice against it, some, you know, around it. Then I decided, 2 fresh stems I've got of my beautiful, beautiful ranunculus in yellow. Oh, one moment, I can see something on it. Let me just make sure I don't like, I'm ever so funny about if I see strands of something. I think it's where they, whoever made them, have left short strands of glue on. But I've got the yellow one with a slight tint of orange into it. Not much, but I thought, well, they are beautiful. They will probably look nice as well. Now, I've got these little daisies. I've got quite a few of these. I don't tend to use them a lot, you know, not for any specific reason. I just, you know, they just sat there, and I think it's depending on what I'm doing. If I don't think they're going to go into the, you know, the design or the display, then I won't use them. But I've got different colours, so I thought I may add a couple of those into it as well, just to give it a bit of a different movement. And of course, I've got white lily, calla lilies for the movement and the flowing and the texture as well. And I thought we need something white to add in to set it off. So that's what I've chosen today. So let's just get all our flowers and everything to one end and move everything down. And then we'll start with our foliage. Right, everybody. This is going to be exciting. And I will do an Ikebana style. I've just got to go into my store cupboard, and I've just got to find out the correct vase for, you know, the Ikebana style. You do have certain shape vases for it. You can't, you know, they don't just use a bowl like this, or it's usually something flat, you know, flat, maybe circular or rectangular or square. It's nothing high up. So I've got to dig them out. I've got that many. It's more than likely at the back. But never mind. I haven't covered the Oasis because with everything we've got here, it's going to cover this, and I will make sure that it covers all of this. So I can either, when I'm doing around the sides, I can take the glass off and just place it upside down because it's not flat on the side. But as soon as I start coming up here, then I want to put the vase back on to see how much room I've got to place things. So let's start with our foliage. And I wanted, again, like I said, to use my conifer. This is a rubber, well, I say it's like a rubbery texture, but with like a furry feeling. I can't really explain it. It's really different. I can bring it up to the camera and I can show you. But I'm not sure if you can get it in properly what it actually looks like. If you can see that, guys. It's beautiful though. It really does really look realistic. And because it's long, it's quite long, I'm going to push it in right to the top of the neck. It will stick out because once you've got this on, it will stick out about there, or you can put it in the top and to bring it in slightly, a couple of inches more, well, centimetres more. But this will be sticking out, so it will be a round arrangement to match the bowl of the round arrangement. So let's start off and put our conifer in. I don't mind you working with the bowl on the top. It gives me a good idea on how I want to put things. I think I'm going to put one actually around here and let it just hang. They do slightly bend, but not all the way to the top. Let's have a look. Yes, it's only to there that they bend. So you've got all this what doesn't bend. So it just hangs like a conifer would. Well, my neighbour this morning, who I have cups of coffee with over the road, we tend to, usually in the morning, around 10, or whenever we can fit it in, we tend to have a cup of coffee. And, you know, maybe a few biscuits sometimes as well. So I've been over there this morning, stood with the two of my neighbours, and we was chatting and having a good laugh. And then they said to me, do you know, Iris, that my homemade tomatoes that I've grown, I've got that many, would you like some? Oh yeah. Oh yes. So I went on their garden. They told me to pick as many as I like. I mean, I don't want to look like I'm greedy. So I did. And oh my good gracious me, they are delicious. So I've already been chomping on those. And it says once they've got some more, I can come over again and just help myself. And that's what we do. We share plants and things like that with each other. If I've got a plant and they want to cut in and they like it, yeah, I will cut some off for them. Why not? You know, they're my friends. So share alike. So that's what we've been doing this morning. Right, I'm going to put some of the leather leaf in. And again, these are going to be short, but I'm going to place these in the corners at the bottom. Because I want to make it near as possible as a circular display at the bottom, just like the shape of the bowl. So we really need to be coming out right on the tip. And if I show you that, let me take the bowl off one moment, guys. I've gone right in on the actual corner, the point, and pushed it in right to the top, as far as it will go. I'm not sure if people, like your beginners or anything, have been told concerning flowers, plants. For example, let's have a look. It could even be, we'll do it on a ficus actually. You see how your ficus is going down, and there is where your next growth is. Well, we call that in the florist business a node. That is a node from where the next stem comes from. There is a node. So if you ever hear anybody saying cut to the next node down, you know what they mean. They mean to the next stem that's coming out. That's what a node is. I thought I'd just fill you in with that because I have had to, not people ask me on my YouTube, but in person when I've said cut it to the next node, when they've asked me about flowers and they've asked me what is a node. So that is what a node is. So I'm not sure if you know, but if you do, well, super. But if you don't, then there's a little tip for you, a little hint on what it is. Again, I'm going to go in right at the corner, as far as I can get it. It's a bit breezy today. I did have a t-shirt on this morning. As soon as I did my jobs in the house, before I started, I went outside. Oh my goodness, my arms were freezing. So I ran back inside and put something on with long sleeves. The first thing that was in my wardrobe. I wish the weather would make its mind up, but they've given on rain again today. So about 3 o'clock, but it's already looking dark. So I hope my washing what's hanging out doesn't get wet. Oh well, it's nothing important. And the last one in here. And any excess glue, as I usually say, just take it off. So there you have how that looks. Which again, we're trying to go in a circular movement, and we want it to look similar shape to what your bowl is. I don't want it square. I don't want it, horizontal. I want it in a circular shape. I've also got some fern here, just oddments of my fern. So there's a mixture in here. So we'll have a look what we've got. There's some little ones, there's some bigger ones. They could look better up there. Let's turn it the right way. Yeah, I think they'd look nice there. But we do have those as well with the yellow one, but they may be slightly too big. Yeah, they're slightly too big. So let's get the little ones in. Oh my goodness, I've got them all tangled up now. And you can always tell which is the front and which is the back. Right, that's the back, so I'm going to twist that back round with the other one. And we're going to put these here, just next to the conifer. And I'm going to put one leaf either side, so I can get 2 off of here. Again, that's the best thing about you saving all your little oddments. If you can hear a noise in the background, guys, it's my next wonderful neighbour, one of them. They have in the garden, all getting all the pebbles on the front garden. So they've just had a delivery of a ton bag, and now the poor gentleman's got to shovel all the pebbles out and place them on his garden. He'll do it. He's a hard worker. And then here we have another one. So we use this one. And that will be the last one on those. I'm trying to put it in slightly, quite careful. Just get that little bit of glue that I can see. And then just test that this is going to sit on it. There we go. So if I hold the vase, that's how it's now sitting on the top, well, or should I say underneath your round circular vase. Oops, a daisy. So now let's put some eucalyptus in. Again, I've not got a lot of these. If I just tie these back up, because I don't want no more of these ones. So they can go back into my oddment box. So now I'm going to do small. I'm not going to put a long one in. Just small to the next node, like we said, where the next one comes out. There's your top, and your next node is here, where all these next set of leaves are. So I'm just going to cut above that, and then I'm going to do it all the way down. Aren't they beautiful, these flowers? They just make me so, so happy. So what I'm going to do is put one in the centre. And this is going to act as a slight bit of depth. I don't want these sticking too far out because we're going to have obviously our flowers. And this is where I'm placing them, just at the side of the tie wrap. And that's going to give you another different texture, different shaped leaf. And again, next to the tie wrap. Just take that bit of glue, I can see. So now we're on this one. And again, just next to your tie wrap. So you've got that at the bottom. Now, let me just have a look. I've got still space on the top. So I think with these I may add at the top, because I do want to see something at the top. I might not use looking at the size of these. I could cut them down, but then I'm wasting a lot of it. So I may not use those, everybody. So let's take the band off of these as well. Oh my goodness, these, oh, I've done it. Try and go for the smaller sized ones first and use those. Just cut a few off. I mean, the ficus is a wonderful filler and also a natural look. If you get somewhat a shape like that and they go off to the side, just bend your stem just like that to bring it upright so it looks like it's, at the top. You don't need to, you can have it like that, but I tend to bring it so it's, you know, standing upright to look slightly more natural. Oops. Just caught a leaf. Now I'm going to put these also at the bottom where the eucalyptus is, but I'm going to put them on either side of the eucalyptus. So really I'm going to need 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more. 7, 8. Now that one looks a bit, yeah, that one's a bit flimsy, so we'll put that one to the side and get another one. Oh, here's one, look. That was good. That was really good. Oh, mind you, I don't like that one because that one's bending upwards. And you can't manipulate it because it's on here, on the leaves, because there's no wire in them. The wire is only on the main stem. So if I can just try and bend them over and press them with my finger and thumb. And that one. There we go. So we'll put this one at the side of the eucalyptus as well. I'm pushing it in, you know, far enough, but still so I can see it. Whoops a daisy. Well, I've got my sister-in-law coming again tonight. Oh, I do love it when she comes. She's like my best friend as well as my sister-in-law. Oh, guys, my son went to see his girlfriend as she came back off holiday last night, and I made a little arrangement up for her and for him to put the ring in. I got a piece of Oasis, cut a square out the size of the actual box of the ring, inserted it in. I didn't glue it in, I just inserted it in, covered the Oasis with flowers so it was in the middle, and on top of the box I attached a love heart. If I just show you the love hearts, I have to show you because I've got them all here. I've put, well, not all of them, but I'll grab a bunch out. Some wooden pick love hearts. So I decided to put a sparkly one on for her because she's a beautiful girl. And I took it, cut it at the top and stuck that on top of the box. And put a bit of gold twine around it. And I also then put it in, oh gosh, I have to show you because I'm really excited wherever I put them. Oh, here they are. I have little bags, just little bags like that with a chain that you put inside the holes there so you can carry it. And I put it in one of those with love hearts under here, a beautiful little ribbon, what says love on it. And he took it to his girlfriend's. With him being autistic, he's not a romantic sort of person. And this is what he told me when he come home. He says, I didn't propose to her. I says, okay. He says, but I says, well, how did you give her the ring? We say baby, but he calls her babby. So he handed over the ring to her. It was a love heart, little diamond cluster love heart ring. Beautiful, beautiful ring. And he gave it to her and she cried. Bless her, she cried. And he just went, here, babby. I don't like that, how he says that, but that's their choice. You know, I've got you a gift. And she, I mean, she's got special needs herself, but she's, like I've said before, I love her to bits. She's a lovely, lovely lady. So she opened it. She cried. She hugged him. He said she won't stop kissing me. His mum and her mum loved it. Her sister loved it. I think he was a bit wary of what her dad may say. But he said that her dad came up to him, and I thought that was lovely of him, and gave him a handshake, and I thought that was beautiful. He came home. She sent me messages while my son was at her house. Look what, with a picture, look what I'm wearing on my finger. And she was overwhelmed. She really, really was. And I just said to her, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful on your finger for a beautiful young girl, or woman, should I say. I mean, she's 26, and bless them, I don't think she'll take it off. Well, you would. I mean, it was lovely. So yeah, happy moments. That one's a bit not strong enough. So I'm really pleased for them both. So well done to my son. So yes, another happy moment. I couldn't stop smiling. And he just sat there and said, I love her, Mum. Isn't that nice? And I just said, look after her. Be nice, be kind, and be there for her. So yeah, loved it. So it was a bit of happy days last night again. I think he was a bit nervous to start with, because he gets like that. He's not sure what to expect. So he does slightly get nervous, but he came back happy as anything. And so was I. Right. I've put in the ficus all the way around. As you can see from that. Oops, I've got a glue string. All the way around at the bottom. So as you can see, I'm trying to create the circular pattern. Let's just see what it's like with the ball on. Now, doesn't that look really nice? I need to hold it. Doesn't that look nice with the bowl? If I can bring it slightly closer. I think that looks wonderful. I mean, at the top of here, they've got like a rubber band or a rubber coating over the top to what holds this on. I think if it was just metal, it'd slide. So it's got just a tiny little bit of rubber at the top. So I'm not going to use any more of that, the ficus. Let's get it all wrapped up so it doesn't go everywhere. So yes, a joyous moment. And then I've got another joyous moment. My sister-in-law's coming. And then I had a phone call off my mum. She's coming to visit me in September with my sister. That'll be nice. Nice to see my mum. Let's move these out of the way as well. Oops, I've got a spare one. We'll tuck that in the band. Right, now I want to use the gold, and I'm going to put this at the top, but it's quite a thick stem, so I'm going to cut it, have about 2 here, and then cut it at the next node there. I've been wanting to use the correct terminology for you for a while, and I think it's the best thing to do is, you know, inform you of the correct names of things, so you understand. If somebody ever says it to yourself at some point. So I think I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to put these on the edge, but on the top. I'm going to dig them in and have them just leading over like that. So turn it away, do it this side. Just check right on the tip. Because I also have to take into consideration, where did that come from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So spin. You have to take into consideration your glass bowl that sits on the top. Because if you start putting things in like this, then when it comes to the glass bowl, it's just going to squash it tightly inside, and that won't look very, very good or professional. Well guys, one of those bars what I bought yesterday, my husband's got. The big one, what was £32, he's got that now. I knew he would. It's his sort of thing. And he's going to find some beautiful plant, probably a tropical plant, he said, to put in it. But he'll find something no matter what it may be. So I'll let him have it. Why not? I've got plenty more. I can always go and grab another one. Just get that bit of glue. Excuse me. Right, there's a little bit sticking above that, what I don't want showing. That's better. Oops, there's another one here, and a little bit sticking out. Little prong. Oh, I've got all 4 in. Oh well, we're going to place one then in the centre at the bottom as well. So it's not just in one position. 2, 3, and I'll put those 2 together. Right, let's take these prongs off. I don't know if you can see them, some have 2 on. I'm not sure if you can. Just here and here. And that's what I'm cutting off, because there's nothing on it and it looks like something, you know, if a customer spots it. I always say if, because never say never. If a customer spots it, they will think something may have fallen off. So, put one on here. So that's why I always cut them off. It's more of a professional job, and it also, you know, shows the customer your care and attention and detail. Some people may think, you know, or they won't see it, but I've always stated you never, ever, ever think like that. You have to think that they may, more likely they will see it, and then you will take it off and do a better job. You don't want customers coming back on you and picking fault with your work. Right, so that is how we've got them at the moment. It's all around, and we're starting now with that round circular shape. So we don't want that one either. I'm not going to use those, everybody, they're too big. Let's start and add a bit of floral. Let's get these wild poppies in. Oh, don't you just love it? Flowers, they just make me so happy. It's a bundle of joy. Now I want to put these around the bottom, just slightly sticking out, as you can see, to fill in the circular shape, because at the moment it's bang, 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 and there's odd bits of spaces what aren't making the, you know, filling at that circular shape. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to place one here And I'm not going to put it in too much because, like I say, I'm trying to create the circular shape. So I'm going to cut those. I've got some more of these, yeah, so I may get some more. And again, I'm just doing that. And you can manipulate them if you think they're sticking slightly too far upwards. They're a wonderful little flower. And again, at this bottom bit. And then on this side as well, I'm doing 2 on either side. Bring it back round to this side and bring this here again. Just making the circular. Right, I want 1, 2, 3. Let me just grab 3 more, guys. You know what, I'll just bring the bunch. I'll just bring the bunch. I brought something else with it too. One's come off in my hand just now. So stick that in and then just glue it into the bottom. Just be careful of the leaves because they do, you know, tend to come back on themselves and they will catch on to the glue. One, get the smaller one. 2, 3, put those there too. So that one's there, so we want one here as well. Push that in a little bit more. I may need to cut these slightly shorter. And the way I'm measuring how these get positioned, I'm looking at the one what I've just positioned and I'm keeping that all the way around, how they're all, so they're all at the same length. So I will look at this one now when I'm placing this one in, and I will just push it in until it reaches the same height as what that one, length as that one does. A little bit more, and there we have it. So then now you'll be able to see more of the circular shape arriving. So let's have a look. I think I want to put a bit of the globe fern in just to lighten it up because at the moment it just looks quite dark and we need something just brighter. Just to pick that darkness up. Oh my goodness. Can't. I think that's it. I'm very good at putting these on, but I'm not very good at taking them off. I tend to sometimes lose patience with them and I think, oh, I'll just cut it. I've got many more. I've got no nails to grab, that's my problem. Right, and to bring these up a bit, you know, in colour, if I just place one in, by adding something like this, white in with it, it's going to pick up the lovely colour, golden colour of your poppies. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3. Let's look for the smaller ones first. No, there's 3. Right, and again, there's the top of the flower or the fern. Now we're going to the next node, which is this set of fern that is gathered together. 3, 4, 5. Taking off the bottom ones, 6. Oh, that was lucky. 7. 8. So put those there. If I wish, I could also bring them above. In fact, that might look quite nice, having them above. So let's place them above the poppy. So it's sitting there. Plastic on this one. So we're going to go all the way around again, placing our globe fern above our poppies. And this is going to allow it to look fuller. So if I show you with the bowl on as it is now, that's what you have. So this is, like I say, going to be a round display. And you could have this on your table for when you're eating your lunch. Or you could have it, you know, as a autumnal display, or put it on your coffee table with a tea light in, and in the evening, perhaps while you're watching the TV or relaxing, just light the tea light and you've got a lovely little display. Oh my goodness, I forget that the rubber's holding it in. And again, I'll put one there. And this is also going to help with the circular shape as well, not just on the bottom but also on the top. There's plenty of room still left to put the rest of our florals in. It will be very, very, well, I won't say compact, it will be compact and airy together. Because you've not got much, you've only got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the bottom to play around with. So you've not got it like a full, if I was doing a big vase arrangement where, you know, I could place these absolutely anywhere. Now I'm forgetting where I've been. Here. So you know, I'm trying to keep it all within itself, but also make it airy as well. And one here. And the last one above there. And I'm pushing them right to the tip. So let's have a look. As you can see now, the circular, you know, the circular shape has already come into play. So now we just follow that around with everything else. Now I want to, let me just, if I sit those in between, no, they're too small there, so they may have to sit there. if I just want to place these carnations in just to see that they're not going to be in the way of the bowl. Just keep testing with your bowl, because again, like I say, you can forget and you will go too close and squash things. You see now that is on the top, so that's squashing that one there slightly, so I'll have to just slightly bring that one lower, and it's squashing that one. And the reason I can tell it's squashing it is because I can see it through the glass. I don't want anything squashed. So that's how it would look if we had the bowl and the flowers in as well. So I think I'm going to put those carnations in there. So I'm going to keep the bowl on while I'm doing it, so I won't, you know, go out of place and squash it or everything in. And I'm just putting them lightly in. I'm not pushing them too far down. I'm probably only putting them in about 1/2 centimetre to 1 centimetre the most. And I'm placing them in between the conifer, because then the conifer now is being pushed down to give an extra airiness and shape. Where did I go? Oh, I'm looking over there. You know, aren't I daft sometimes? Silly and daft. So do the same on this one, because you may be able to hear me pushing them in, but not for long. It's just a quick, it's got the glue on the end, that's going to hold it in, so I'm not worried. Just slightly place that one there as well. Just get this glue off my hands. And then just, you know, if you think that some of your leaves need manipulating, you know, and they're not in the right place, just move them about. So, as you can see now, the conifer, instead of being up, and I've placed these chrysanthemum carnations in between the conifer leaves. So now the conifer is acting as a circular movement around the top, as well as the bottom. We've got what we've got on the bottom. So let me look. I don't know, I don't think I'm going to put the peonies in, but I really do like these. And what I wanted to do with these, I start from near the top, take this big one off and cut to where, take the smaller ones off. I don't want those. I want to start where the bigger ones are. So let's have a look. I may start from the bottom. Yeah, I'm taking one off at a time. I could cut the stem, but I'm not going to. This is a much easier way. And then put a pick on it. And when I cut this pick, I will use the other half to put on the next one, because I don't need this. You can pull these out, get your glue and place your wire pick inside the flower and wipe off your glue, so then you have a longer stem. So I don't want them that long, so I'm going to cut them around the halfway mark. So that's one, and then I will use the bit that I've just cut off to put in the next one. And that will save you using another full stem on something that you're not going to need a full stem on. And this is where you can get lots and lots of usage out of your flowers, because when they pull off like that, you can use them individually. You haven't got to use the whole of the flower, and you're saving your pennies. So again, cut the stem and use the rest of the stem on the other one. Push in, remove any excess glue around the bottom. So there we have it. I may have more, I may want more, but I think I want to put some around the bottom here. In the centre of all the poppies, but at the bottom. But slightly in a little bit. I can push it, leave it out like that, but I want to push it in slightly a little bit just to give it a bit of depth. So let's put some glue on it. Lift up, find a little space. There we go. So I'm just pushing that in for the little bit of depth. I'm going to do that all around in between all the poppies. And then last one in here, just find a gap at the bottom. You will get one because there's plenty of room to put more flowers. Move that leaf back down. Oh, doesn't it look wonderful? Who would have thought this was a tea light? And then you just think at night and all these glorious colours will be shining. And especially that, you know, that's one of the reasons I put this with the glitter on at the top. So when the light does shine, it'll shine onto the glitter and you'll see the sparkle. And I think that's a lovely feeling. Right, let's have a look at our pansies. Do we need one coming out from the corner? Or is it one of these? No, it's not those. And I had a sort of a feeling that they wouldn't go with it. I'm going to use the pansies, 4 of them. So I'm going to take 4 and put them, some have more than one flower on the top. 3. And I'll have another one with a single, because I've got one single there. So we'll have another single. Take the barcode off. Now let me just check the leaves. I think, yeah, these are the tacky leaves, guys, what fray. So pull them off. If I can get these off, yeah. You don't want the leaves that are fraying. It's not going to help your, you know, it's going to devalue, you know, what you're making, your arrangement. It's a shame because the leaves do look nicer, you know, better with them on, but I've got a lot of foliage around what will help these look, you know, be nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 1 single, 1 double, and then where the double is there, I will put it in the opposite corner and do it like that to give it the balance that you need. So let's get the single one in first. And these are going above where the leatherleaf fern is on the corner. And try to keep again within that shape of the circular So it's looking like you've got a border around the edge, all the same, and it's like a margin. Or picture frame, like I like to say. And do the same on this one. Just look at your other flowers and make sure, let me just grab it, that they're all around the same. Now that one's slightly longer and for some reason it's not pushing in very well. So I'm going to cut a bit of the stem off again. I'm going to remove the glue. Because if you put glue on top of glue, you're going to make a mess of the oasis and you're going to make a bigger hole. So it may give it more chance to fall out. So we'll put that in just there. That's better. Just slightly bend it over. Yeah. So single over this side on this corner. So let me cut a bit off again. Above your leather leaf. And look at your other flowers to see how far you need to push it in. So that's like that. And then you double. On this side, opposite the double here. Just a little bit more. There we have it. So now if you look at the bottom, you have a circular shape of your flowers. And I think, to be quite honest, because these, what's that? Oh, it's a leaf. Oh my God, great, it's a petal, not leaf, petal, everybody. Now I'm not happy with those because they are, as I was using those as depth. I do have depth with other things, you know, inside, but because I wanted this circular shape around, it looks like it goes circular here, then it drops in. So I don't like that. I'm pulling it out, removing the glue, and I'm just going to pull this out. If I can, now it's glued on tight. The Gorilla Glue's just set. So I'm going to tape it up. Let's get some of my tape, and I'm going to elongate it to give it that extra length to match in with those. And just pull on your tape, because this is the corsage tape. You need to pull it to, you know, allow the stickiness to activate. So let me get all of them out. 3, 4. And remove all the glue. I could have used some more of those from the Delphinium, but why should I? You know, then I'd be wasting it. I only wanted one of them in. So again, you know, pull them out and use some tape. It's on a wire pick. It's, you know, then you're not wasting it or adding more to it if you really didn't want that there and you only wanted one. It's just, you know, to save on your pennies. I'm all for that. I was very much, you know, I learnt my lesson when I was younger. Not to waste. Took me a while because I just kept thinking, oh, it's all right, we'll put one in. No. And then I'd realise when I wanted something, I've got no money. So, yeah. So I learned. And with my husband being a businessman and he runs his own business as well, he sort of like gave me a few hints and tips of things, as well as obviously doing my studying. And when I do study, I do study. My head is in them books. Oh, it could be 30. When I did nursing as well, I used to study 13 hours a day. Constant. Because I wanted to know everything. And I was like that with my flowers. I wanted to know everything about flowers, the biology side of flowers. When I was doing fresh, I just needed to know, because if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it correctly. That's how my mind works. And, you know, at the end of the day, I do think it pays off, you know, because especially when you're running a business, you don't want a customer coming in, asking you a question, and you haven't a clue. That's embarrassing. So I made sure I didn't get to that position. It can take a long time. You know, well, I say long time, it all depends on what time you've got to actually study or anything like that. Let's just manipulate that so it bends. There we go. That's much better. I'm more happy now. Now I see that. And that's the best thing with artificial. If it doesn't look right, you can just remove it and do it again. So I'm putting it in a different place. I'm not putting it back in the same hole because the hole would have got bigger. So I'm just going slightly at the side of the hole to prevent widening the hole that I've just made from when they were shorter. So I was taught that the more you put a stem in the same hole, the looser the oasis gets because it crumbles. So the best thing is to do, if I can show you, let me just get a little sample piece because I saved some oddments of my oasis as well because I may need some for smaller ones. So the best thing is to show you, if you had that there and you decided you didn't want it there, well, once now you've pierced the oasis inside there, you've got an hole. Now by piercing it in again in the same place, you've just made that hole bigger, if you can understand that. So that is loose. Even with glue, it feels loose. So the customer touch it and it might feel slightly loose to them. So I just go slightly next to the hole, the first hole that I had. So then it's not loose. That is the best thing you can do because people won't see that hole because unless you're doing something minimalistic or anything like that, then really you shouldn't. You've got to know what you're doing to not make extra holes. But if you've just made a mistake, there's your first hole, put it at the side, guys, because that now has got bigger by trying to insert two. And that, if I just look, it falls out and the customer is going to notice that. So I always say go slightly to the side of that hole where you took out your stem, and then it will sit in there flush and you haven't got any worries. So I can see the hole there, so that won't be going back in there. I've just gone slightly to the side of it, so it's like that. That's the best advice I can give you because I mean, I have done it before myself for an arrangement for myself, you know, and realised what was happening. And I spoke to my tutor when I did it, and she told me, don't do it. So I can see the hole there, so I'm just going above it slightly. So now it's in and it's placed in. Wonderful. So as you can see, I'm going to lift that And that's what it's looking like from the top view. Now I've moved those delphinium petals and moved them somewhere else. So now you have your circular shape all around your vase. I tend to like, when I've got round vases, I do like to mimic the shape of the vase. So that's what you have there. So because I can see a few gaps here next to the carnations, so on each corner I'm going to place some berries, just to give it that extra touch and to bring this circular shape on the top as well. Instead of that looking like it's square, 1, 2, 3, like a box, I don't want that because I'm mimicking the shape of the vase. So I'm going to put something in between, like here, to carry on the circular shape. So I'm going to cut this about there. Let's see, a little bit more. And if you see what I mean, once I've put this in, you can put more than one of these in, and I'm going to put them on the level of what the carnations are on. You may not need some, two sometimes in one, because these aren't very big. I could have used the Queen Anne's lace, but I wanted berries. So I'm going to put another one beside it because it's not really covering much of it up and giving me the full circular shape. So I'll put that there. So now can you see that? It's starting to curve around. And we'll do the same here. Put it about there. Take the prongs off. I don't want those showing. There's one in the centre as well, so I'll take that off. And again, push it slightly a little bit more in. And just keep going until you're happy with the depth of it. So it's going around again. And then in this side, and do the same again. Oops, I got a glue string. And then the last one, this has got tape on. Take this off. I think I grouped a few together. That's probably why I've got tape on it. Where's my scissors? Gosh, it's hard because the tape is over the top of some glue. Oh. Now I need to... Oh, I've got one here that's got nothing on it. Oh well, never mind. So let's just cut this one. this is the one here. Do the same here. I think I'm going to need 2 here because that's very small. That's probably why I glued them together. I'm going to cut that off because there's a bit at the top in the centre what's not got nothing on. So we're going to take that off because again we don't want the customer to see it. And then there's a little prong as well on it. I'm going to put that one oops, go on in. Now that one's not sitting right, so let me pull it back out and shorten the stem. Cut it where the glue was. Right, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to just slightly pick on this one. It seems to have been pushed in too far. So give me more of a chance to bring it out slightly. Right, I'm not going in the same hole again, I'm just going at the side of it. Now that looks better. I might do that with all of them. Yeah, let's do it with all. Take that off. I'm going to put a new stem in here. Cut it up there. I'll put that one in. Let's take this one out. See, brilliant, isn't it, where you can just pull them out. Because if it, I mean, when I worked with Fresh, you did anything like that, it was very, very, you had to be really careful. You could have easily have snapped the flowers. They're very, very delicate. And you know something, one of the most delicate flowers when I worked with Fresh, I found anyway, lilies. Your lilies, you know, like your tiger lilies, things like that. Very, very delicate. You can pick them up out of a bunch and guarantee one of the heads would fall off without fail. They were so, so delicate. They look big and you'd think, oh, they wouldn't be. Oh my gosh, everyone, they are. So I always made sure with them I took extra care. Right, again, I'm not going to put it in the same hole. I'm going to put it just at the side of it. And I'm not going to push it right in. I'm going to put it at the level of what the berries are, so it blends in lovely with the berries. There. Now that looks much, much better. I have to hold the bars because it's not securely in. So that's how it looks, everybody, with the berries at the top and the carnations, and then your circular flowers around the sides, giving you like a margin or a picture frame, and your pictures in the centre. And all I've done is just carry that on to the next row above and done the same procedure where it's circular as well, like it's wrapping around your bowl. Right, now we do have these lilies, the calla lilies. Now, I could easily, I'm going to cut one right down because I can change the stem. And I'm going to show you, this may not go. I could easily put one, let me turn it around because the leaves can be turned around. So they look like they're more hanging over. I could easily put something like that in just for the movement. Now, but me looking at that, I think as much as I love them, that spoils it. Because it's too much, even though they're wispy and they're airy, it's taking your eyes off of this because you notice this sticking out. So, I mean, looking at it, I'd be like, if I walked in, immediately I'd be thinking, oh, what's this sticking outside of the flower arrangement? So, I'm not putting them in. So, it's a shame, guys, but no, I don't want to spoil the look, but I do need something else around here and maybe under the delphinium flowers. So, let me just have a look. And again, I wanted something white. So, you know what I may use? I haven't used them yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. My Astralomera. These are my offcuts. I've got the full stems there, but these are the offcuts, and I've got 9 flowers, and I'm going to take them off individually. Again, and I'm going to do the same thing. Glue them in so I can put 2 on either side at the bottom. So let me just show you what I mean. Before I glue it in, let me just, so instead of just having, I could easily put them there, but you won't see the lovely shape of them. So next to every one of the delphinium flowers, put an Astralomera in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all those are going to have stems on. Let me just check. You see, that gives a bit of what I could even actually just above the delphinium stems. I have to just be careful of the vase and just add them in there, or even bring them slightly out. To there, yeah, that's the position. So it's going cascading down, but at a round shape like that, not at an immediate sharp shape. It's slowly going over. So, and I'm going to put those, like I've just said, either side of the delphinium flower, but just above. So that's what we're going to do, and that's white is giving it a bit more texture, and that will help give a bit more contrast as well. So let's get some fresh stems. I'm not going to use a tape. All I'm going to do is glue them in. It just goes to show everybody how far your flowers can take you. It is wonderful. You don't always have to put the whole bunch in. You can just put odd bits dotting around by just pulling them off and using, you know, the heads of the flowers instead of the bunch. But I find that's the best thing. the best thing I enjoy, knowing that it's saving me money, but also it's giving me what I'm looking for at the same time. Now, who can't beat that? And especially for the beginners, who, you know, like I've said many, many times, you know, if you haven't got the funds, this will give you a good start, you know, by using your oddments or using your, just the flower heads, and without having to buy loads and loads of bunches. I started like that, and it was worth every penny. Oh, I think I've got a small one here, I can see. Because I do put my small ones back in with my long stems. Because again, I won't waste them. Even now I'm professional, I still try to save as much as I can. Everybody, I will try and save. Right, let's just take this one out and glue it. So I'm not going to go in that hole where I've just pierced to try it out. I'm going to use a different hole. Not a different hole, sorry. A different space just next to the hole. So that is now filling in these little gaps we have around under the top row. Because you could put filler foliage in there, but then at the same time the filler foliage will stick out. Is that what the look? If that's the look you are, you know, wanting, then that's super, really good. But if it's not, and you want flowers there like I'm putting, then, you know, go for things, do things like this, where the flower's quite big and it's not too tiny that you've got to put more in, you know, as well. Let's just check. So that one's there. Hang on, guys. I've put that in the wrong position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's in the wrong position. I could though put them all the way around. No, I'm not, because then it'll look like I've got 2 lines. So it's here. And again on this opposite side of the delphinium flower. So here we go on this side, just slightly above, because I'm going to bring those like that. And then one here. And just keep pushing it in till you've got it at the right height, or depth, should I say. that one. And that there. And you can move, you know, your foliage around if you want them positioning in a different position as well. Because I've moved my conifer around, you know, so it looks like it's sticking out. Bring that one under there. Push that one slightly in a bit. Let me just have a look. I think there's gaps here. As you can see where the foliage is, there's gaps. Now I need something there. So if that was the case, where did I cut the small one? Now I could put those there. And then they will act like, you know, sit on the floor, on the bottom. Let me just have a look, everybody. It may not look right, so I need to just check it to start with. I think some of them, I mean, obviously I'm going to be cutting them down. So some, just to give that different look again. And I can push them in further. And you know what, guys, I think that looks nice. So then instead of having them on the top, I've got them on the bottom. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put a longer stem in this one, because it's not got a long stem on it. And then I'm going to glue the head of the lily on so it doesn't come off. Because I do find that with these, as much as I love them, they do, you know, the heads do tend to come off very, very easily. So get your glue gun out, you know, or your glue pan, and just glue them in. Right, so I'm going to cut that halfway, and then I'm going to push this in as far as I can get it at the bottom. So let me just take that off. Oh. And as you can see, I'm going underneath the eucalyptus at the bottom, and I'm going to push it in as far as I can. See, and now they don't stick out as much as, you know, they did when they was on the top. I'm going to do the same with this. Let me just glue this head on, because I don't as much, again, as much as I love these, I don't trust the heads on them. I really don't. So we'll do the same in between here. And just push it all the way in. Let's look for the one. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Marvellous. Sorry, guys. Where have I missed one? Oh, obviously there. I'll put this one in here. And again, just lift up, and we're going in the oasis right at the bottom. Because these are quite delicate, let's say, you know, with the heads coming off. You don't want the customers, you know, when they get home and all of a sudden one of the head of the calla lilies have popped off. So I always avoid things. If I know especially that they're not on securely, I will glue it back on, or glue it on to make it secure. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I may go and have these. Let's have a look at the corners, just to give it more of a fulfillment. La. So then it's like really like a bit of a you know, your borders at the bottom as well. So how many more have I done? Let me just, you know, the best way to check. 1, 2, 3. So I want 1 here. You know, why didn't I turn it over last time? Silly me. Let's take the head off. I've not glued that. Oh, it's glued on. Oh, fair enough. Don't put a lot of it on though, because it will go on to the actual colour lily. So just be careful of how much you do actually put on the flower head. I should have done this from the beginning. Here. Oops. One more, and then that'll be that. They're done. La la. Where did I see it? So here. Right. So all now your colour lilies are positioned in. Just move those. And then you position your ball on top. Make sure it's looking nice. And there you have it, guys. There's your table display for in the evening. I will balance this out correctly because I could tell that it's not sitting. That's better. This will look lovely on your coffee table with the light again, like inside. If you didn't have a light, I've got a candle. You can buy these small candles. You can just place one in, and in the evening just light it, and there you have it. So I'm going to show you this with the candle in. That's what it looks like. Sorry if my left arm's in the way, but I'm trying to hold the vase or the bowl, and that's what it looks like all the way around. I'll bring it closer. Right, so you're looking at like that, and you've got your circular motion, movement around the sides, and also your top layer here with your circular, you know, your flowers going in a circular movement as well, and also even your calla lilies at the bottom. and then with your candle in the top, and then you look at it from that angle. It's the actual display is now circular. So that's what it looks like. Lovely colour. I might try this in my house tonight just to see what it looks like. You know, where it's lovely and dark. Switch the lights off the lamp and then just sit there with this on and see. Oh, it might be really romantic. My sister-in-law will come in and she'll wonder what's going on. So yes, let me take this out. And again, you can see through the bowl where your oasis is at the bottom, but once you put a candle in there and the wax melts, that will disappear. So again, I'll turn it slightly round. I hope you can see, everybody. In fact, let me take the vase out. This is much easier. So as you can see, that's where your vase is sat. Nice and flush in here. You can see your oasis around, but you know, by putting more things here, you're going to only make it clumpy and the vase will wobble inside. So I've made sure there's things around the vase. Put your vase in first, you know, and work around it. Then once you've got your placement of everything, remove it if you like I did myself, and then just carry on. And then again, I'll show you again. That's how it looks, like that. So that's how it's like a little wreath really, or a, you know, posy pad, what I call, you know, I used to do a lot of posy pads, and that's what it looks like. So, and as you can see here as well, I don't know if you can really see, but on here they've got a little rubbery bit on top of the where the vase sits, the bowl, and that holds it in with it being rubber. And if they weren't on, you just have the metal and it would slide around. So, yeah, that's what we've done today, everybody. You can do it, like I say all the time, you can do it in different colours. You haven't got to stick to the colours I do. If you've got, but I do always, you know, advise, if I've got a grey vase, then my flowers I will try to incorporate with the colour of my vase. If I've got a yellow, you know, orange vase, it could be stripy, it could have the orange in, it could have orange, yellows, whites on a stripy vase. Try and incorporate the colour of your vase with your flowers. Or should I say, the colour of your vase, get flowers that have got the very similar colour. So they all blend in and balance out, because you don't want a bright purple vase and then you end up with the, it could be, I don't know, green or red, you know, flowers. It will clash, especially the red. So, and if you're not sure as well about the colour scheme of your flowers, let me just see if I've got mine still. I've not used it for a long time. I don't know if I have. I may not. Oh, I have. Oh, I have. I've not used this for a very long time. A colour wheel chart. It's a guide to mixing your colours up. And here you have it. And on the front, I'm going to bring this closer. You could, if you just go online and you just place in, you know, a florist colour wheel chart, and you can buy them. They're not expensive. Now, the way you work with this, if you look, you've got your split complementary, your triad, your tetrad. So, if you choose for the top here, you want purple. So let me just manoeuvre it. One moment. That point here onto the red, the violet. So you've got it there. So then if you can choose which one of these triangles or the tetrad you want to follow. So if you want purple and you want the triad, it tells you that any of those greeny blues will go with the red and violet, the pure colour, and then go to the other end and yellow and orange. So yellow and orange go with red and violet and blues and greens. That's how you learn all that. Now if you wanted to move it to an orange, let me just move it because it's not flat. Because there's your point, look. This is the only bit on the wheel that has a point here. And that's on this bit of your colour chart. So follow that point. If you want reds and oranges, but you want the split complementary colours, then follow that triangle down, and it's telling you with reds and oranges, blues, and then also greens. That's how you work out what colours go together when you're doing an arrangement. And then you also have on the back a guide to mixing your colours. It tells you all your colours around the side, you know, like your warm colours and your cool colours. So if you again wanted to add in, you know, you wanted to do red, so you've got red, and it's telling you you can add yellows. Follow these. It's giving you the reds. It's saying you can add yellows, bluey greens, whites and blacks. There's your colour to add, your colour chart. That is how you do and get your colours together. And it also explains it on the back how to use it. So that will help you as well. So I always say to people, especially beginners, get one. Then, because some you know, like I did myself, I struggled to start with what colours would match with what. I got told to get one of these and I swore by it once I'd got one. So, you know, beginners, grab one. They're very cheap. You know, I mean, this is years old, so they might be more better than what this one is. I mean, you could tell it's years old. There's a split in it here, look, the amount of times I've used it. But once, and it also tells you on here as well that, you know, the complementary colours, you know, your triad, your tetrad, your dyad, you know, your analogs, your monochromatics, and it tells achromatics. It tells you everything around here, and that will help the beginners. So please, if you're a beginner, invest in one, and you'll never look back. Because once you start struggling and thinking, I don't know what colour will match, or I'll watch a video, that colour will match. This will tell you. You haven't got to watch a video, everybody, because this will give you your answer. So that is another tip that I always say to people who I talk to in floristry, and also some people who I've taught. So give it a go, and honestly, you won't look back. I think I bought a pack of 2 for these years ago, and I mean, I'm 53 now, so I'm thinking in my 20s here, 30 years ago, and it's still in good condition. But I think it was around £1.50 for a pack of 2. It may be about £3, £4 now, but it's well worth the money to help you. And especially with it having the instructions on it, you can't go wrong. So I hope that helps. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed what we've done today. I sure did. I love doing the round arrangements. Well, I love doing any arrangements really. And I'm going to put this in, you know, and I'm going to try it today. I'm really going to try it. And if it, you know, I will clean it out. I won't sell it as of yet. I will take the bowl out and re-clean it before I sell it. So again, give it a go, everybody. And also newcomers, beginners, grab one. All it is called is a colour guide for florists, a wheel chart. There you go. Anyway, I hope you had a good time. I sure did, and I hope I gave you some good tips. So enjoy the rest of your day. Whatever you're doing, enjoy and have a fab time, and enjoy your evening. I sure will. I've got my sister-in-law coming round again. We have lots of laughs. So I'll see you again tomorrow, guys, and all the best, and thank you from the bottom of my heart deeply for your wonderful comments, your constant comments, you know, your kind and generous words. You are all fabulous. So I'll see you tomorrow, and take exceptional care of yourselves. Bye bye.